Hi, welcome back to a new tutorial part. We want to build this scene, and we start with these little tables. So we add mesh cylinder, 32 is okay, scale down, scale C. So we have one, Shift D, make another one, scale down, scale C, Z, yeah, Shift D, scale C. So that are the three guys, all need a shade smooth. So you see here it's darker than on the top, that is a shading error, and to get that avoid we have to Control R, make a loop in, one down there, and Control R again, one on the top. That will make with all the objects, and then you see it is even gray. So Control R, you can take two loops. Also scale C, and here the same, edit mode with tab, Control R, roll with the mouse button, scale C, axis, and move the mouse, left click to accept. So this object, go here to move, so we have the arrows here for move them in each direction that we want. This edge here, that is too sharp, so you get no reflections there, and that looks then unreal. But it can't be so much, so a little bit is enough. So Control B to bevel that. You see we get that, and then roll them with the mouse button one time, and we have this little beveling effect. So we see here comes directly lightning. That makes it much more realistic. So we make it here too. Control B, move, done. Next one, right click on it, tap to go in edit mode, and Control B to get that. So what we get here, also we need an UV unwrap to plug textures on that stuff there. So for that we take here that loop and mark them seam. So UV, mark seam, and D down seam 2, mark seam, and then this texture will be plugged on this, but it must be cut in half to open that up to a 2D form. So we get here one loop, and that loop without that both we mark seam 2, and when we now make that with all this stuff here, mark seam at the down loop. Mark seams are cut lines. There a 3D object will be cut off, and then you can open that, and then you have a 2D object, and that you can paint with textures. Because of that we have to do an UV unwrap. Without an unwrap we can make no texture on it. So we have that, file, save. Now we have to unwrap them. That means we mark them, go in edit mode with tab, A to select all, and hit U on the keyboard, and then unwrap. We don't see here anything. We see here an error message. It has a non-uniform scale. That means we have to apply the rotation scale of the object first. So object, apply, in this case it's only the scale. And here also object, apply scale, and here also object, apply scale. Good, then we go back to the first object and hit U to unwrap and unwrap that. Now no error messages there, so all is okay. We can go now to the UV image editor, and that is our unwrap. That means this 3D object was cutted on the red lines, on the seams, and that is then the result of that, where the 3D object is cutted off. And now we can place their textures on. How we do that? So at first we select here our top part, that you see it's that here, and that needs texture. So we go here to materials and we create a new material, click new and give them a name, call it table 1 top. So we click on use nodes and on sign. Now we need here that material, so we go to texture painting, to shading. So now we see here the nodes for our material table 1 top. You see it there. That is a principal shader that makes it white, and we want to have here a texture, a wood texture on the top. So we must plug in a texture, so add texture, an image texture, plug in there. You see yellow to yellow, so the color of our image should be in the white one. White is black because we haven't selected a texture, so we select one, open. I have that from textures.com. There you can download them for free, and there I got this one. And now you see we have it here overall. Because we have only one material, we need 2 materials, one for the top and one for the side. That here is only for the top part. So we go back to UV editing, and we see that is our circle and that is the picture. So we have to place them correctly. So A to select all, grab them in the middle and scale them up. When we select here material mode, then you see directly it appears there. We have 2 less. We must take that here all. So A. We have to make it new, I think. Control Z. A. So grab. We take that. So that's it. We must get them all in float, such like that. Then we can take them all and scale them up. You see it on the right side how that appears there. And so we have our top part of this wooden table, and we need a second part for the sides. So we get a new material plus new, call it table 1 side, and click on use nodes. We go back to shading and build this table side material. So to get that there, tap to go in edit mode. Then we take here the loop, Control plus to get one more, Control plus again to get one more, and we say we want to have that side material assigned to that. Good. We haven't one because it is only the default material there, and we have to do the same as before. We add texture, image texture, connect the color to the principal color, and open from our texture folder a wood texture, and take this, and we now have to plug that on the UV correctly. So we go to the UV image editor. We want to see here our texture, so we select its texture, and we want to have that part here to be here on this part. So I'll look again what we have. We have that here, that is okay. That's table 2. Use nodes. He has plugged that on. We go to UV editing. We rotate X 90 degrees. So that comes more to the side. We grab it here in the middle, scale it a little down, and then we scale it in the Z axis. Oh, no, in the Y axis. It is 2D. So we have that. And here is this cutted scene I told you before. That is the side you should ever make at the back, so nobody sees them. Good. We make it a little bit smaller, scale X, or bigger. We must search for that. Yeah, that looks better, but it must a little bit smaller, scale X. Good. That is our wooden table 1, but we see it is the same glow on every part, and that isn't like real wood is. Here we have that problem that we have the right side is darker than the left side. So you see that then on this part here, and when we rotate X 90 degrees, rotate X 180 degrees, then we can make it so that this part down there, the dark one, and the lightened parts are up, and then we can scale Y and make them smaller or longer, or what we want. So that looks a little bit better. Good. We go back to the shading, and as I said, wood glows not on the whole plane there. So we go to the top one, and we need a factor for mixing what should be lightened up and what not. What should be rough and what not. So we take here the color and plug it into the roughness. And now you see only the parts glowing, not all is glowing. But it is no real 3D effect, it has no real depth. And that we can make with the displacement. So we plugged it in the displacement. And you see it's very rough now. That is too much. So we need a little bit less. And for that we plug here add converter a mass node and make that between the image and the displacement. Now we can say here the method for this math, and we take multiply, and we go down here from the value. Then you see there it changes. We take here 0.03. Maybe a little bit less will be good. So we try here 0.1. Yeah, that's better for the depth, but it is too glossy. To handle that gloss, we need here color ramp. With them we can make them stronger or less strong, the effect of the roughness there. So we take here convert the color ramp and plug them here between the image and roughness. And when I now move this here, you can see on the top the glow gets more or less as I make it here. So that for me is good enough. The same we do with this material, and we don't want to make that all again, so we simply take this color ramp and with hold shift the math node and press Ctrl C, so he copies these two nodes. We go to the other material, here table side, and here we hit Ctrl V, and so he pastes that in this material. And here we do the same as at the other one. We get here the color to the math node and the value to the displacement that gives the 3D effect. You see now it looks more 3D. And we need the roughness, so we get that here in the factor, and the color in the roughness. So that was it. We have built our first one. Here we see now where it close, and that is a little bit too much, so we can go here less glossy, switch like that. And the effect here, we can try to put them a little up, but not too much. So 0.05 maybe. A little bit too much. So 0.2, 0.02. That is okay for that wood. So we have now one of these tables done, and we need the materials on all the others too, but with different textures. So we go here to this one and go to the history. Here's the history of materials that we have, and we take here the tabletop one, and we want to have a second one of them, so we can click here, and then he makes a new material like the old material but plus 001, and we rename it. We delete here the 001 and call it table 2 top. Now we have our new material, but with all this stuff is in. So we need also the site, so we take in the history the site from table 1, make here a copy of the material 001 and call it table 2. So we have to place them where they should be. So we click here face selection, Control plus, so you select the top part, I assign there the top material. So we need here plus and get here the top material and assign them. Good. We want to take here the same top texture as before, but another front material. So we go here to the UV editing. We take here our part and we select here our stuff. So with B border select, we can select that, and down there you see it change, and then we scale it up to a size that fits, and then we have that. All other options are in, so you see the class all is there like it should. The only thing is we need here now another side material, so we go to this side material, Control plus, so we have that. We go to shading, and there we take another side texture. So we go here to our image, open up, and that was the old one. Now we take that one, and now we try to find a good size for that. So we go here to our UV editing and get here this whole part. Yes. Then we get here the new material that we have there. That is that one. And now we try to scale in the x-axis only a little and scale in the y-axis more, but so that it fits completely. There you see it is from this point to that point, so we can scale it a little bit more, scale y. Then you see we have it there. You see here is the texture, he tiles them 1 to 1 and so on, and that is a problem, but we want to see it only from the side, but we scale X to make that a little bit stretched, so we have it all around. Good, so that is the second one, and we have the last one. There we take also this top 2 material this time, but we want to have a new one, so we click here to new material, copied material, and we call it now table 3 top. And we need a plus, we need the side material. So that one, make here a copy of the material and call it 03. Good. Now we place them there. Control plus. That is the top part, sign. And then the rest should be Control plus this side material sign. So as we said before, this here has to be in the middle of this round stuff. So grab it there and scale up. So, and the side material, we have not here. Here we need a new one because we have made a new one, a new table. And so we have to change the texture for that table, and we take this one. and see it appears there, and that is good. I will directly let it like it is. Here he has a mystery material. I think tabletop does it, but it is black. Don't know why. Ah, this one. Okay, so we grab it there and scale it a little. Done. So we have all the three tables. That was the lesson 1. Next time then we build maybe the chair or the other stuff. So that was part 1. Thanks for watching. Normally when you don't want these tiling effects here, you need a seamless texture. A seamless texture you can plug each on each, and you never get here this seam. And it must have a good resolution to get sharp. So when you have 10,000, then it will be absolutely sharp. That here is a low texture, and so it looks like low texture. Good. We have that. File, save, and I'll see you in the next tutorial part. Bye.